It's 2021. Welcome to the new year, and let's make some goals for you, the hobbyist, as we look forward to 2021 and we look at this beautiful thing we have called the hobby. Hello, Happy New Year! 2021 is upon us. Bye. See you later, 2020. I know a lot of you are looking forward to this year. Maybe the whole world is looking forward to this year. But it is an exciting time for the sports card and really any card world as you look at it. Even memorabilia and some of the other stuff out there is really exciting as we get into 2021. So I thought for this episode we would talk a little bit about some goals that the hobbyist has. And well, I don't want to use the word resolution. I think goals is a better thing to use specifically in the hobby. So we'll get into that. First thing I want to say to you guys is I usually give a plug here and there, and I tell you a little bit about something going on. We do Mealy Pops Madness. We have our website, mealypops.com. But I don't know if any of you all know but just so you can hear me out, our shop is one of the biggest buyers of cards in the Southeast, whether it be graded or non-graded, whatever it may be, Pokemon, comics, coins, video games. So if you ever are looking to sell stuff, please contact us. You can contact us through our email, shop, mealypops@gmail.com. You can call the store, or you can even text the store, 352-559-3659, or you can just hit us up on all of our socials through DM. But we are one of the biggest buyers, and I think we pay very fairly. So hit us up if you're ever looking to sell something. All right, let's get into episode 17, the first episode of 2021. So we're at an unprecedented time, right? Like thinking about just the hobby in general, thinking about cards in general. I mean, some of you may be really new to this and don't know that just 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't like this, right? I mean, we didn't see jumps in cards and wax at these prices. We didn't see the world of grading and the way grading is. We didn't see the excitement that is brought about by things like social media, specifically YouTube and Instagram. Even TikTok now, you're seeing just all these breaking videos. A little plug for Mealy Pops. Go check out Slapstocks and Mealy Pops on TikTok. But we have a lot happening. And so as we had the blessing to really open the store right at the beginning of this, and again, you can't time that. It's just, by the grace of God for us, Meredith and I opened this store, and it just blew up the sports card world, our store, online, all the different elements that we have, watching people around me do well and be successful in this. So we have kind of a marker at the beginning of 2021 to really look back now and say, okay, in 2017 and 18 it was kind of meh, a little bit on the upside, and then 2019 we start to see the ramp, and then 2020 we see, right? So we're at this apex of where the market is right now. Where does 2021 take us? And nobody can predict the future. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen with cards. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen. There's a lot of people out there with really, really loud voices, specifically on social medias and the podcast worlds and stuff. Be very careful who you listen to. Always check the facts. Always check the data. I think Slab Stocks, Mealy Stocks, all the things that we do with our video podcast, we're trying to bring objective information to you guys. We're not guessing. We're trying our best to really teach and educate, which is why I love what Aaron and Nate are about when they first started, Slab Stocks. Where do you go, and what are the goals you have as you move forward in 2021? So first thing I want to bring up, and I see this problem a lot, specifically with young collectors and people who are just getting into the hobby, but it's the idea of not being focused, right? Not having a focus for the hobby, like not knowing what they really want to do other than just be part of it and have fun with it. Now listen, if you want to have fun in the hobby and spend money and just know there's going to be ups and downs, you're going to make gains and losses, that's totally fine. That's what's beautiful about this. But if you're someone who's going to sit there and say to me, I'm looking to invest or make money or be smart with my money, not blow money, you have to have a focus. Focus. And that means you have to narrow, what are you looking and hoping to do? Are you looking and hoping to collect a player, your favorite team, your favorite fantasy, your fantasy players? Are you looking to build sets? Are you looking to put stuff away for investment? Are you looking to buy and flip and make that kind of short-term gain? What is your focus? If you go with the ebbs and flows of what's hot, you will get burned. And I've seen that all the time. If you just kind of pop in and out and think you know a little bit about everything, you will get burned. And I would guarantee that about 50% or maybe even 75% of people that are out there telling you, I'm getting into this, or I'm adding this to this, or I'm going to invest in this, are actually losing money. And I see that all the time with people. They say one thing, but you realize on the other side, on the flip side, they're losing money because they're getting in on things way before the trends. At the end of the trend, and not before a player gets hot. So be mindful of those kinds of things. Have a focus in how you're going to tackle the hobby in 2021. What do you want to do? Are you a collector? Are you a flipper? Are you a hybrid? Make sure you understand what you are, because as you switch with things throughout the year, it's going to affect what your focus was. There are people I know that have incredible collections, and the only reason why they have incredible collections is because they've been very disciplined to just collect what or just invest in specifically what they believe in and what they've done their research in, what they think will be hot, or maybe what will be hot in 6 months or a year or 2 years. So I encourage you out there, please stop for a second and just ask yourself this: what is my focus for 2021 in the hobby? And if you have an answer to that, there's no right answer to that, but if you have an answer, then I believe you'll be happier in 2022 because you were able to say, you know what, I focused on this and I did this. So that's one goal I think that you should make for yourself, is have a legitimate focus for this hobby. If you don't, you can get lost in it. You can get drowned in it. Every single day I get people asking me, how do I make money? How do I collect this? What should I buy? And I help them and I teach them and I educate them, right? But then I see 3-4 weeks later, they're done with that, onto something else, and they've either lost money or they've gained some money and they think they're an expert in it. So that's not how this hobby has been formulated. It's not how it is. And honestly, in 2021, the rules of all the older hobby shops, the OGs, the people who've been doing this forever, okay, the rules don't apply anymore. They've been vastly changed over the last 40 years in this last year. And I'm not going to sit here and say to you, oh, it's just a repeat of the 90s, because I don't personally believe that. I think that we're in a very different world. I've talked about it in other Mealy Stocks videos. Go back and watch those. But we are in a time that's very unique to the hobby. And I just hope you understand that. And hopefully you guys out there and gals out there can build a focus around that. All right, so into that comes this second point, which is, how are you going to be prepared for the emoji up and the emoji down? So preparations, I think your goals should always be focused on the possibility, right, that the card market could tank or the card market could even double again. So how are you preparing, what you collect, the things you've put away, your goals and what you might want to look to invest in the future, seasonally what's going on in the year, right? Soccer, right? So for those of you who are involved in soccer, 2020 we saw this wild increase in Prism and all the brands, and now we're seeing this wild decrease in them. So what's different about 2021 than 2020? Well, I can tell you right now, Euro's coming up. You're going to have World Cup 2022 in the next year. So maybe some of your investments and things you look at now, you might say, I'm going to be prepared for the rise of that stuff if all things continue to go according to plan, but I'm going to be a long-term guy in that, right? And then also, if you're buying smart enough in soccer, I think soccer is a great buy right now. You're going to be prepared for if the market does tank versus some of these 18-19 basketball and 19-20 basketball prices on wax and singles, which are incredibly high. So just making sure you're prepared on both sides of it. I think another way to kind of really be shored up for the ups and downs is that you have a little bit of diversification, right? I don't want to sound too stocky and Wall Streety with, diversifying your portfolio, but you should kind of have a little bit of something, as if you're more seasoned in this, right? And you just say to me, Jameel, I'm just a baseball guy. Okay, that's awesome. You love baseball. But are you looking to make money only in baseball? Or would you, as somebody who knows the hobby, right, and is an investor, so to say, a card investor, would you not buy other cards simply for the fact that you want to be a baseball guy, right? And I hear these kinds of things a lot too in the shop, and I'm very weary of that, because I know some people get very negative and distraught when they don't see what they've loved so far or what they've believed in doing very well. So there are ups and downs, and I think that they could come at any moment. I think that the economy could continue on this crazy upstreak, or we could be in a recession in 6 months. Who knows? So how is that going to affect what you collect? Just an example in a recession. I believe in recession. I've asked a lot of guys before if we ever do go into that. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm just throwing the what ifs out. That if we wind up in a bad place, I still think the rare cards and the hot cards and the low numbered cards will still have value. I don't think that Prism Silvers that are third year PSA 10s of a star player are really going to be worth that much. I don't think that the base card that they made gazillions and gazillions of, and there's now lots and lots of PSA 10s that are trying to be pushed out if we had a recession, right? Mike Trout 2011, Luka Doncic Prism 1819, the list could go on. I don't think that that world of cards is going to be extremely marketable. I think you're going to lose some money in there. But just make sure you are prepared on both sides of these things. Make sure you know what's going to happen, and maybe think about diversifying a little bit. Buying into some sports that maybe not you don't buy a lot into. Buying into Pokemon or learning a little things here and there that I think could help you, so you don't have as much of a loss if you're only so focused on one thing. All right, next thing that I like to talk about as a hobbyist goal for 2021 is the idea about grading and what specifically are your grading goals. So let me say that one more time. If there's anything in this episode I think that people could really sink their teeth into, it's probably this part. But what are your grading goals for 2021? Okay. Stay with me. What I mean by this is the fact that grading is way behind. We all know that. BGS, SGC, CGC, PSA. We know. It's way behind. But if you are investing or buying up players or whatever you're doing, and you're thinking in your mind, for example, let's use the hotness with basketball right now. Keldon Johnson, Joshua Jackson, Bol Bowles, right? You see these players, right, that may become good. They don't have a great track record, but I see people now buying all the prisms at height of the raw price, setting tons of stuff off for grading in bulk, but you're not getting those cards back for a year. You're not. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. Unless you're really grading with some of these great group submitters that have really, 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 really good preferred rates, and they're getting back in 6 and 8 and 9 and 10 months, but you're probably looking at a year now. So I'm just bringing this up because goals are so important to understand. I believe two of those guys that I just mentioned may not be relevant in a year. But so many people are crazy on them. KZ Okapala, Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter. All these guys right now. Now it's all coming back to me with these hot, sparks that we see in the hobby. TJ Warren was that in the bubble. What's TJ Warren stuff doing right now? What about all those people that sent the TJ Warren stuff off in bulk? What do you think about all that stuff that you paid money into and now it's at PSA and nobody really wants TJ Warren? So I'm just trying to bring up these things so you can start to think a little bit about grading. We had a scare this week. PSA said they were suspending bulk grading and all those things. You have to really pay attention to the intricacies of what grading is. What are your grading goals? How much are you going to sink into grading when it comes to the 20, the 30 days, the bulks, the 10 days, the 5 days? Is your grading understanding up to par? Can you look at a card and really understand where the grade range should be? That's vitally important. I talk about loss potential all the time about, selling, for example, Jalen Hurts. Let's use that. Great quarterback. Get a Prism Silver. Grade it at if you're looking to grade that card at a 20-day, right? You get it back in 3 months, 4 months of PSA. That card value is probably going to go down in the next 3 and 4 months. So those kinds of things in my mind that I just think about, and I hope people are thinking about that, really plays into the goals that you have when it comes to grading. So ask yourself that question. Be honest. I think you guys follow me what I'm talking about and trying to drive home on that point. And then my last thought for when it comes to hobbyist goals for 2021, and this should be a goal for everybody, is the fact that you have to have fun with this. Right, guys? Right, girls? You have to have fun with what is this beautiful thing that we have with the sports card hobby and the Pokemon card world and the Yu-Gi-Oh world and the non-sports world. You have to have fun. There are a lot of people out there who are, I'll just share kind of a personal side here. My wife and I just announced on our Instagram and our Facebook page and locally that we're going to close our store on Tuesdays. We've been open from every day this year except Mondays, but Mondays has really become like a massive catch-up day. It's a ship day. We do Mealy Pops Madness, so then we try and catch up from that for Saturday night. It's become a very big, busy day on a Monday, actually. And then we swing around, start on Tuesday, and then Tuesday through Sunday, we're just growing. And we had to take a step back and think about this for a second. And I was preparing this video cast here today, and I was thinking, have I been having fun or have I not? There have been some times I've dreaded talking to people or dealing with certain issues simply because so many people have become jaded in the hobby where it's so focused on themselves and money. And trust me, I get it. I'm a business person. I have a business. I understand all those sides of it. And I get money's tough right now. But if we're not having fun in what is one of the most unique, special, community-driven hobbies in the entire world, specifically sports cards, then we're missing the point. And I think that should be a goal for everybody as we go into 2021. Think about others. Think about kids. Think about the future of the hobby. Hopefully you're doing something and giving back to others. I love seeing it with people in the shop give me cards to give to kids, or people on the breaks give me cards to give to kids. Or if I have guys that will send me little hits here and there, autos and jerseys. Think of others, right? Think about those guys in your shops and in your breaker groups who, they may not be as well off as you are, maybe to buy into breaks, and maybe they have a favorite team. Send them a card here or there, hook them up with something. I think that we have to be more focused on the fun side of this, because that really is what drove this hobby and made it what it was from the 50s, with baseball cards and kids and just collecting and trading, put them in their bicycle spokes. They had fun, man. They had fun with it. I'm not saying you want to go out and take a Zion Auto and put it in a bicycle spoke, but you got to have fun with it. So those are kind of the thoughts I had for this episode today, episode 17. My name is Jameel. I didn't intro myself, but I'll outro myself. I own a shop here in Gainesville, and I just love the hobby. I love what it's about. Hopefully you guys will set some goals for yourself. In the comments, down below, drop some ideas, maybe some other goals that maybe I should have brought up. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think regarding the hobby and goals that you might have for yourself for 2021. So Mealy Stocks, part of the Slab Stocks Network, we're signing out. Appreciate all you guys and all you gals supporting what we're doing, and we look forward to doing more in 2021.